rising programs along with our existing programs housed here in our 25,000 square foot community center. Downstairs we do have our Nanshan Senior Center that serves over 5,000 seniors annually. There's also an official New York City cooling center. And we also serve everybody from early childhood programs to our senior centers and everything in between. From SYP, college readiness, adult literacy, workforce, our special needs programming, our pro bono legal immigrant services, and all of our multi-social services here, serving the diverse communities in Flushing, not only in Flushing, but also in Queens. Today we are joined by Assemblymember Li Rosa, as well as our CEO and President Wayne Ho, and our Deputy Director Raymond Chan, that helps also organize all the programs throughout the entire community center here. To really talk about how we've been supporting our most vulnerable community members during these times from pandemic till now. Assemblymember has provided us capital funding for us to maintain this building, to expand our space, to provide even more programmings for all of the families that we serve here. So at this time, I'll just turn quickly over to Mr. Wayne Ho to give a couple remarks for our work, especially here in Brooklyn.
Can you introduce yourself, Mitch?
My name is Mitchell Wu, I'm Director of Queens Community Services. Pronouns are he and him.
Thanks, Mitch. By the way, if you come to the Brooklyn press conferences, that's where they officially call me Mr. Ho. So at least Mitch called me Mr. Wayne Ho. Here, thanks, Mitch. They're all looking at me like I'm serious. That's not a rule. It's not a rule. Call me that. So thanks everyone for coming. Wayne Ho, I'm the President and CEO of Chinese American Planning Council. As all of you know, next year we are going to be celebrating our 60th anniversary. We were founded in 1965 with the mission to promote the social and economic empowerment of Chinese American immigrants and low-income New Yorkers. And now we've grown to become the largest Asian American social services nonprofit in the entire country. And we are privileged to serve only New York City residents. And every year we serve about 80,000 residents because of our dedicated staff. And here in Queens, we serve about 20,000 Queens residents every year. As you've already heard from Mitch, from children to school-age children, to high school students and college students, to adults, immigrants, parents, and to older adults. And in 2017, we opened up our Queens Community Center here, which is a 10-story building that serves our community members. But when we opened the building, 2 floors were left empty at that point because unfortunately we did not have the funding to fully fit out the floors, and we wanted to wait until we had the program funding or knew what programs were going to run before we fit out the floors. And like any building, after a couple of years there's some shakeout, and we realized we needed some capital improvements. So with the $125,000 capital grant from Assemblymember Rosick, we were able to do several improvements that are making things better, not only for the community members and their family members, but also for our staff. So some examples of that is we were able to repair both of our elevators. Our elevators, unfortunately, were having some challenges going across the floors. So that's obviously not the best experience for staff or community members when there's elevator issues, or there's times when we had to take one elevator offline and only had one. We have 2 elevators here. We would have to take one offline, and that meant that with the hundreds and hundreds of people that come every day to use our community center, that means it's really hard for people to get to their classes on time, or to get to their summer youth employment positions on time, or for seniors to go between the 3 floors on time in order for them to take advantage of our services. Similarly, on a day like today, which is really hot, we had the opportunity to use the capital funding to repair our air conditioning units. So we are also a designated cooling center by New York City Department for the Aging. So it's not just important for us to have air conditioning for our community members who already come for services, but we need to make sure that anyone off the street, if they want to get deal with the heat that we're facing, that we can be a cooling center for them. So the funding helped us repair our air conditioning units, which is especially important for our 3-year-old and 4-year-old daycare kids, as well as for our seniors on our first 3 floors. So we're thankful for that. And last but not least, we were able to fit out this floor. So the floor you're on is our 9th floor, and it's our newest first floor that we were able to fit out with the assembly members' support. And this is one of our newer programs under our early childhood learning and wellness program, which is we have funding to do three things. One, first is we do trainings and improve the quality of center-based or family-based daycare providers. So we do trainings to make sure that they're following health protocols, safety protocols, and doing the age-appropriate services for children from 0 to 5. Second thing is that we are one of 4 organizations throughout New York City that has Promise NYC. That's the new program that started over 2 years ago, where we provide child care vouchers to undocumented children. So we're able to provide counseling and advice to undocumented immigrants when they come in and help them enroll for child care vouchers. And then last but not least, this is where our child care resource and referral program operates, where parents who are looking for accessible, affordable, quality child care, they can either come in here or they can call our staff to let them know where they live, how old their child is, do some screenings to see if they're eligible for vouchers or they're eligible for the city's pre-K for all or 3K for all, and we help them find a child care that's near their home or near their work. And in the room that we're in right now is not just a room that we do screening of parents, this is also the room that we do the trainings of child care providers. That's the reason you see some toys and other things lying around us. It's not just because CBC staff like Legos and blocks and things, it's that this is trainings that we give to workers. So with that, on behalf of the board, the staff, and especially the community members, I do want to thank Assemblymember Rosick for supporting us through this $125,000 capital grant. But more importantly, she has been a true partner to us as long as she's been in office, from making sure that we are fighting for what's best for community members, understanding the needs of Queens residents, understanding that human services and home care workers deserve a living wage, and has been a champion for the Just Pay for Human Services campaign, as well as the Fair Pay for Home Care Workers campaign, as well as a long laundry list of other things that we work on together to make sure that Queens residents and community-based organizations are working in partnership together. So with that, I'd like to introduce our Assembly Member, Neely Rosick.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks everyone for being here. I'm so excited, thrilled really to be able to share good news. I'm, as many of you know, I'm an Assemblywoman representing the 25th Assembly District, which is parts of South Flushing, Fresh Meadows, Queensboro Hill, and Open Gardens, and parts of Briarwood. It's on days like today that I am so excited about the work that we're doing, not just in Albany, but here at home, and connecting the two, making sure that we're bringing resources back to communities that need it, to organizations that need it. And CPC is certainly one of them, and certainly at the top of our priority list when we're thinking of who is out in the neighborhoods, who is out serving community members and constituents. CPC is at the top of that list. As Wayne said, 20,000 residents come through here on any given day in any single year, and that's a huge need, not just for this part of Flushing, but also in Fresh Meadows and Open Gardens and in the communities that I represent. I know that many of them come to CPC and seek out CPC and their services. So in 2017, when they opened this building, I was so excited to come and visit for the first time. And I think my first question was, how can I help? What can we provide from the resources that we have available to us in Albany? And if that's capital funding or expense funding on any given year, we're really, really, very privileged to be able to provide that for organizations, CBOs like CPC, that are doing good work. So we did a grant for $125,000. We heard, the great benefits to that state funding, not just the air conditioning on days like today, but also providing for, cradle to senior members of our society, those who really need it the most. Seniors and children who use the elevators no longer have to worry about, getting stuck or having to wait on long lines to get onto the elevators. Parents, guardians, they can all come and use it well. So again, really excited to provide that funding. As you all know, in Albany, we also every year have done $30 million in an API fund. CPC is one of the great CBOs that is a recipient of that funding, but this is separate and apart from that. This is particular funding that my office can give out to organizations like CPC, so we're excited to do that. And hopefully this is the first of many to come. So with that, I just want to say thank you for having me, for celebrating this, even though it's just air conditioning, it's really important for community members. So thank you to Wayne, to Mitch, and Raymond, and their entire team. I'm really grateful for it.
Thank you. So let's see if there's any questions from the reporters. All right, great. Y'all got the photos?